Revolutionary greetings, comrades. In our international series today, we want to look into Libya. As you know, that brother leader, Muammar Gaddafi, the great revolutionary, came into power in Libya on the 1st of September 1969, was ousted from power by NATO-backed forces in 2011. There have been calls to hold elections in Libya, which were meant to have happened last year, but elections have been postponed. They were not able to hold elections. So, in this international series, we just want to focus on preparations for the elections briefly. I am Ngabudo Nicholas Mabena, General Secretary of the Zimbabwe Communist Party. As I've already said in my introduction, that in 2011, NATO-backed forces invaded Libya. From the 1st of September 1969, Libya has been a beacon of hope for the people of Libya. It has been an inspiration to all of us in the continent. Our freedom fighters trained in Libya, those from Zipra cadres, they trained in Libya. We knew about brother leader Muammar Gaddafi during the struggle for national liberation, even though some of us were talkers. But the Zipra cadres would share stories about Libya and how Libya was assisting in the struggle for national liberation in Zimbabwe. Of course, the imperialists were not happy with what Libya did. They were not happy with the socialist views of brother leader Muammar Gaddafi. If you read international press or imperialist press for that matter, they will tell you that Muammar Gaddafi was a dictator. There are others, of course, stooges of imperialist forces in our own country in Zimbabwe and in the rest of the continent who characterized the great Muammar Gaddafi as a dictator because to them, a leader is judged in terms of office. They do not understand the Libyan revolution. They do not understand the struggle against imperialism. So to them, any person who's in office more than 2 terms is declared a dictator. And that's what these stooges of imperialists have been taught. So, as I've said, that NATO backed forces toppled Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. It was said that Western democracy was going to be introduced in Libya. And we know that this did not happen. Libya has been under turmoil ever since brother leader was ousted. But what is said is that many people celebrated when President Barack Obama of the United States, whose roots are in Kenya, became president of the most powerful nation in the world, the United States of America. They thought because here was a black man who was a leader of the great nation, as they would say, they would say the United States is a great nation, the most powerful nation in the world, was going to advance the interest of the oppressed and marginalized across the globe. But it was under the presidents of Barack Obama that his fellow African brother, Muammar Gaddafi, was ousted from office. Ever since Muammar Gaddafi was forced out of office, there have been plans to hold elections, but all this has been happening under heavy military fighting that has been happening in Libya. We know that elections could have happened on the 24th of December 2021. These elections have been postponed. There are 2.8 million registered voters in Libya. But what is key, which we need to understand, is that the NATO-backed government or uprising split into two after 2011, particularly in 2019. One of the leaders being commander of the military, Khalifa Hiftar, who was backed by other international forces fighting from the east in 2019. Then the other split was coming from the west in Tripoli. So in 2019, Hifter was backed by Egypt and the United Arab Emirates, launched an offensive to try and capture Tripoli. But his campaign collapsed after Turkey and Qatar stepped up their military support of the Tripoli government, which saw, of course, hundreds of troops from Turkey and some say mercenaries from Syria fighting on the side of the Tripoli government, which pushed back the commander of the army. The United Nations had to intervene, try to bring peace and stability in Libya, but this has been eluding the people of Libya. So this is the result of imperialist invasion, because the thinking was that once you remove Muammar Gaddafi from power, as they did in 2011, Libya was going to be stable. But what they are not telling all of us, which all of us, of course, we know, is that Libya was stable as way back as 1969, when Muammar Gaddafi took over power. He improved Libya. It was a desert. Libyans benefited immensely from the leadership of brother leader Gaddafi. But because the imperialists did not have access to oil, they had to top Muammar Gaddafi and were told that Muammar Gaddafi was a dictator. To them, any person who stands on the way of their looting of our African resources is a dictator. Any person or any political leader who does not give free access, be it minerals in Africa or in the rest of the developing world, be it oil, that leader is a dictator. So they will always want to install their puppets who will make it easy for them to loot our resources. So brother leader refused to be a puppet of the West. Hence, he was then removed. So elections have been postponed. Were supposed to be happen on the 24th of December. These elections were postponed. I've already said there are 2.8 million voters in Libya. There's a proposal. 3 days ago, there was a meeting to try and see if parliamentarians can agree that elections be moved to June. So we will, as part of our international series, look closely in developments in Libya, hoping to draw lessons. Following are the candidates, presidential candidates, but there might be other candidates that might emerge, because if elections are 6 months in 6 months away, maybe again they are going to be postponed. But the leader of the military, or the military commander, Caliph Hifter, is one of the presidential candidates. Prime Minister Abdul Hamid Dibia is another presidential candidate. And of course, the popular candidate in Libya, who the West will not want him to be president of Libya, even if the people of Libya want him. That is the son of the late brother leader, Muammar Gaddafi. His name is Sail al-Islam Gaddafi, who is a presidential candidate. So that is these are the presidential candidates if elections are going to happen in June. So in this video channel, we will continue to critique and analyze elections that will be happening within the African continent in 2022, to understand what this means to all of us, because we must build a democratic Africa, not in the eyes of the imperialist forces, not in the eyes of the West, but we must build a democratic Africa that will ensure that the economy is placed in the hands of the majority as a whole. We are tired of Africans that are drowning in seas going to Europe. We must resist the liberal agenda that is taking root in the rest of the African continent. We need to build and strengthen Africa left, so that Africa must be led by leaders from the left tradition. It is then that we can build a democratic, prosperous Africa, Africa that will take care of its own citizens. We have said previously that one of the things in building Africa unity is to ensure that we build the regional unity, we start building regional unity through what we call the reunion agenda. We must build this unity in SADC region, in West Africa, in North Africa, in Central Africa, in East Africa. It's critical that we build this unity. Once we build this unity in our regions, African unity will then be realized. And us, as the sons and daughters of the continent, will benefit from the minerals and the resources that are abundant in our continent. And we prevent our resources from being looted, and we prevent the imposition of stooges of imperialist forces to be paraded as our political leaders in the continent. Otherwise, please share your views on what you think about Libya. As I've said, elections have been postponed. We are not sure. This is why we ask whether will elections happen in 2022. Please write your comments. We want to hear what you think should happen. I see the American internationalist is here. Thank you so much. Says greetings from America. We appreciate. I see a number of comrades are following. Comrade Prelina Nguben, Comrade Sarah Nkomo, Comrade Nobet Mujati, Comrade Shepard Dube. Comrade Shepard Dube, there's no genocide that brother leader committed in Libya. That is, of course, what the imperialist forces, because they control the media, they've got money, they control the media. The international press will present Mama Gaddafi, the great leader of our time, as a dictator, as a man that committed the genocide, which is not true. So, yeah, thanks, Comrade Robson Nkom, and many of you, comrades that are following this YouTube. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, circulate, write your comments. Let's continue with this discussion. We love you all. Amandla. Bye-bye.